to Midsummer Scream. Last fall, a legend returned to the shores of Long Beach. Dense fog rolled across the harbor as a massive ghost ship glided silently through the murky waters of the port, coming to rest not too far from here. The vessel was home. This year, Queen Mary's Dark Harbor is back with a vengeance as 13th Floor Entertainment Group unleashes even more nightmarish fun this Halloween season. Here to tell you all about it are members of the 13th Floor and Dark Harbor team. Please welcome to the stage, Production Manager at 13th Floor Entertainment Group, Doug Bailey. Director of Special Projects at 13th Floor Entertainment Group, Brett Bertolino. Senior Regional Manager at 13th Floor Entertainment Group, Amy Holloman. General Manager at Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, Star Romano. And CEO and founding partner of 13th Floor Entertainment Group, Chris Stafford.
Awesome. Welcome to the Dark Harbor 2025 Midsummer Scream panel. As you all know, Dark Harbor is back. What did you think of last year's show?
Yeah!
We are so excited to tell you what we have in store for you this year. But first I want to start off by just thanking all of our fans for coming out and making Dark Harbor's return such a success. And I also want to do a special shout out to our phenomenal team. It takes hundreds and hundreds of people to put on this show. So it's not just the folks up on the stage, but there's many people that you don't see that really help bring Dark Harbor to life every year. So let's have a round of applause for everybody on our team. And I know you're really anxious to hear what's new, and we're going to get to that. But I do want to take a moment to honor somebody that's passed away this summer, somebody that was integral to the Queen Mary. For the last 40 years, they were synonymous with the Queen Mary. I think this person was as beloved as the ship is herself, and that is Commodore Everett Hoard. If you've met Everett Hoard, you'd know that he is such a sweet, genuine person. And when Amy and I started this project, we knew that the stories of Dark Harbor and the stories of the Queen Mary were so important. And one person that we spent a lot of time talking with, listening to, interacting with, was the Commodore. And he was so generous with his time, so generous with his stories. And a lot of those stories, you might not know it, influenced Dark Harbor. He was a huge fan. So everything last year, from the hospital theme in Infirmary to the name of the drink on Pride Night, were all things that came from those conversations with the Commodore. He gave us so much information. We have pages and pages of notes. So I just want to thank him for his support of the Queen, thank him for his support of Dark Harbor, and just take a moment to recognize him and remember him today.
The Commodore was both a chief historian of the Queen Mary, as well as a comedian, if you knew him. He told us very authentic things, and one of the things he said was that the ship is a ghost itself. And all of those who have ever stepped aboard and lived on the ship leave traces of energy behind on it. The Commodore famously often said that someday, when he became a spirit himself, you would know he was haunting you aboard the ship if you smelled the combination of Dior and Grey Goose. What a cool cat. Commodore Everett, we salute you.
That's right, Amy. The Commodore will continue to leave his legacy on the Queen Mary and on Dark Harbor for generations to come. I know that his presence is still there and will remain there for a long time. Now, let's dive in.
So last year marked the unforgettable return of the iconic Dark Harbor. We were completely overwhelmed and thankful all of the support that the community showed us as we embarked upon this journey, no pun intended, of bringing this incredible event back. I think it was a year ago we stood on the stage and we talked to you guys about how we really wanted to honor the past and the legacy of Dark Harbor, but also look to push the event into the future and think about what it could become as it evolves over the years. So I hope we accomplished that. I want to acknowledge some of the folks here on stage, especially Brett and Amy. The tireless dedication they showed to putting this event back together with you, for you, was unmatched, as well as the entire team at 13th Floor, the people in the finance, marketing, operations department, all worked really hard to make this event what it was, and I hope we accomplished what you guys wanted us to do. I also want to thank the City of Long Beach and the folks at the Queen Mary. They are so dedicated to this event, and they were so driven to bring this event back for all of you guys, and there is absolutely no way we could have done it without their support. Folks like Tasha and Eddie and Joseph at the City of Long Beach, folks like Steve and Dylan at the Queen Mary, their love for this event and for all of you guys, the fans, it was pretty incredible. So with that, we're excited to talk about 2025, share a little bit of what we have in store for you at Dark Harbor this year. And so with that, maybe we should bring out a familiar face.
Sounds like a good idea, Chris.
Are you ready? No. Is this not Midsummer? Is this not Dark Harbor?
Let's go!
Are you ready? Now make some noises for some of your favorite mazes from last year! Where are we looking at? Make some noise for Feast! Make some noise for Lullaby! Oh my God, one of my favorites! Make some noise for Breakout! Infirmary! Make some noise! What time? Who's a fan of clowns? Who's a fan of clowns? Make some noise for Big Dog! We are Dark Harbor 2025, and we've got so much ghoulish treats for you all. One more time, are you ready? Who's ready for me to open the gates? Who's ready for me to open the gates?
Almost. Thank you, Captain.
Thanks, Captain. So we're gonna start by telling you what's new, by telling you what's not at Dark Harbor this year. And that is the Old English Village. So if you've been to the site, there was this Old English Village that Disney bought. I hear some people that are sad. We were sad to see the village go, but in all reality, even before the pandemic, the village was in such bad shape, the city had condemned it, and you could only walk around it. So for a lot of time, it was unused space, and we were spending most of our time and some money thinking about, well, how do we keep people safe around these buildings? How do we weave through these buildings? And we made the best of the village. I was really proud of what our team did last year. There was a really cool entry graveyard experience. We're gonna have a similar experience this year, but the graveyard has been removed. And while that might seem like it's a bad thing at first, we're super excited about it because it opens up the footprint of Dark Harbor. So this year's Dark Harbor footprint will be the biggest Dark Harbor event that has ever existed. This new space, I'm sure you're curious how we're going to use this new space and what we're going to do with more space on property. So Star, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we have in store for the village site?
That's right. The village takedown had a bigger purpose. It was for the expansion of Shipyard. Ooh. The entry experience was inspired by the past with a few elements of the future. The Shipyard is moving to where the village once was, with programmed shows all night long for you.
So last year, if you were in the Shipyard, which was our main stage, this is where we had a few shows, as well as an awesome DJ provided by Lovecraft, DJ Kiltrina. And this year we want to bring some more shows onto that stage. But we're starting with the Maiden Voyage. So every night at Dark Harbor at 8:08, you'll hear the ship's whistle sound. And when that goes off, a video starts that displays a little bit about the history of the maiden voyage of the actual Queen, where they hit the champagne and the first time she ever took sail. Well, when this maiden voyage kicks off at Dark Harbor, we also start to bring out our icons, and you learn more about the stories that you will step into those mazes that night. This was a big hit last year. And at the end of the maiden voyage, which I do think is a perfect show starter, the captain opens the gates, and then many monsters run out into the crowd, scaring people on ground level. So this year, this will take place again in the Shipyard at 8:08. At the end of the night last year, we ended with something we called the Final Voyage. This was inspired by the Queen Mary's final voyage to its destination here in Long Beach. It went around South America, through parts of Latin America, and we worked with Lovecraft to pick some music from those different countries it went past, so you can start to hear it. You hear some different Latin music. You hear Solito Lindo when it goes past Mexico. And then it gets to California, where you hear Tupac, because California knows how to party. And then that's when the monsters come out, and we have the monster dance party that ends the night. So we're bringing that back this year. You can dance with the monsters. And we're thinking, you know, we're a nautical event. We're right here by the water. What would spice up an end of the night dance party? Foam. So we're gonna have a foam party every end of night at Dark Harbor. You don't have to get in the foam if you don't want to, but it's just another fun level of immersion that tops off your end of the night. So those were our two caps. We also are gonna have more shows on the stage. Star, tell us a little bit about what else we're gonna see this year.
Well, to keep the festival, first of all, Voodoo drummers are back. Who loves the Voodoo drummers? And to keep the festivities going all night long, our entertainment schedule has expanded. Who love the fire performers? Personal favorite of mine.
I think they're lit.
So we decided to give them a main stage. We got rid of the fire stage, and we're putting them on the main stage for you guys all night long.
And then, of course, the return of the Dark Harbor Sliders! The Sliders have already been putting together their show for this season, and this year, Slider Alley is moving to the center of the event. So this will be located just in front of the Shipyard. So when the Sliders are doing their show, they'll also have the sound, the booming sound of the main stage to fuel them as they fly. And we'll continue to have the fire like you saw last year, but more fire, because we love fire at Dark Harbor. So we're excited for the return of the Sliders, and they're putting together some new tricks for you guys.
So as you can hear, the Shipyard is really becoming the heart of the harbor at Dark Harbor. So last year you started and ended your night there, but there wasn't really a reason to go to the Shipyard during the middle of the night. As Star and Amy said, that main stage is going to have shows on it all throughout the night. There's going to be reasons for you to come back there. You'll get a drink, go to a maze, stop by the Fishbowl Bar, come see another show in Shipyard. It's also where we're moving our cabanas and Captain's Club. So if you have a VIP ticket, you get to go in Captain's Club. This year, that's right in Shipyard. It's right to the side of the stage, so you get a great view of all the entertainment. And then the creepy cabanas are also moving to Shipyard. So again, if that appeals to you, you get a home base at the event. a nice cabana, special character appearances, different options for food that can be delivered right to your cabana, and you can see all the shows right from that space. So we're really excited about Shipyard. Another VIP experience that we're going to introduce this year for Dark Harbor is an RIP tour. So each night there will be 2 versions of this tour. One tour leaves early and then you can explore after, and the other tour you kind of have free roam before, and then the tour's at the end of the night. But it's a guided tour for about 12 people. We're going to take you to the front of every single maze without waiting in any lines. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we put the event together, a little bit of Easter eggs of different mazes, and then we're also going to take you to some exclusive spaces, incorporate you into some of the scenes in the mazes, and give you some really special experiences. So that's our brand new RIP tour. You can look for that online. There will be additional details coming soon.
There's some special VIP in that photo. I don't know if you noticed in Midsummer.
And to keep those themed nights going, we will be having maze appreciation nights. Each Sunday, we're going to pick a different dedicated maze to honor, and the icon character from that maze will be red carpet ready to take photos with all of you. We also encourage all of you guys to come and wear your best icon character accessories and accessorize those outfits and enjoy the nights with us.
Yeah, I'm thinking bow, if you love Scary Mary.
I love a good bow. And teddy bear.
Teddy bear. Mm-hmm.
Good accessory.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Brett and Amy, sorry for interrupting. Might I have a word in private?
Brad, you're on speakerphone.
I'm on speakerphone, aren't I?
Yeah, I just said it.
Fine. So, I'm summoning the sea. Well, to be honest, I'm currently all at sea, both physically and mentally, no idea what I'm doing or where I am. I'm actually starting to believe that this was all Rick West's doing. Send the Admiral on a wild goose chase that just happened to be the same week as Midsummer Scream. Coincidence? I think not.
I don't think so, Brad. That's definitely
Indeed,
not.
I will. But you know what?
Always
I
enough
think
to
I
me.
want to do something grand, something akin to a military parade on my birthday.
All right, let's hear it.
But I'm dead, so I don't get birthdays. So I'm thinking an Admiral Appreciation Week. Yes? Wait, before you poo-poo my idea, think about it. We could have photo ops, some pop-up military formation drills, maybe name an alcoholic beverage after me. Of course, I will want final approval of said cocktail, so if you could just send me some samples, that would be great. You know what? Just send me the alcohol, I'll make my own drinks. You know, it reminds me of way back in the day when the Voodoo priestess and I would drink and tell tales about time.
Okay, Brad, okay, Admiral.
Where all the dead people go. Oh, we had some laughs and fun times.
Good, thank you.
Thanks, Admiral. Guess what? You're gonna get your Maze Appreciation Night. I'll give that to you, okay? You got it.
So that means that the Admiral, who you know last year was promoted from captain, recruited the captain we just saw, he's gonna be back for a full week of Dark Harbor where he has named it Admiral Appreciation Week. So Admiral will be back this year.
To continue with those theme nights, who remembers Pride Night from last year? We're bringing back Pride Night and Day of the Dead.
Dia de los Muertos.
We're also adding a couple new ones. The Undead Slumber Party, where we get to stay up past our bedtimes and hang out with the monsters in our PJs. My personal favorite, Black Tide Goth Night. Fire Lovers, Pyro Spectacular Night. And don't forget, Haunt Couture, Dapper Day. Take that, little mouse.
We saw a lot of people dress up last year in very cool, like Art Deco outfits and sort of period authentic pieces to Queen Mary. So that's why we developed the Haunt Couture nights, because we thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if a lot of us were dressed like that? You know, little vibes, throw out to the Queen Mary, throw some blood on your rose, whatever it is. We introduced last year a character named Lady Mable. She was inspired by a real woman who lived in the UK and was quoted in a newspaper. She was a psychic, and quoted as saying that the Queen Mary will be far more famous when she no longer carries fare-paying passengers. And you may have heard, we interpret that as that she was talking about Dark Harbor. So Lady Mable came into the event last year and was the person who gave you some clues and tokens to find the speakeasies. So speakeasies will be back this year. We're not going to tell you where they are, but there will be new speakeasies throughout the property on the ship and in the harbor. And Lady Mable is also taking a bigger role. So her mystical powers have spread across all of the realms of Dark Harbor. Dark Harbor is being divided into, so we call them realms or lands. So that means the ship is one realm. Our goal is to always, I should say this year, I don't want to lock myself in 5 years from now, and one of you will say, Amy said on the stage, I know, because you guys remember everything. This year, everything that's on the ship is period authentic. That means that if you see bellhop costumes, they're supposed to feel like they're back in that time. But there's something that happens when you come to the harbor that some elements of the harbor can be a little more modern, okay? So these different realms need an introduction at times, or perhaps the mazes, you want to know more of the story. So Lady Mable is taking a narrative voice, and you'll hear her voice as you enter some mazes and realms, telling you what to look out for or what you should be cautious about.
The spirits have much to say this season, my darlings. I see cleavers flashing, flesh seared in the dark. The butcher is carving his legacy into the ship's bones. Below deck, I feel passion twisted by cruelty. Graceful gales sing sweet lies, while Dr. Masters cuts deeper than skin. Love never dies, but it certainly kills. Wait, something's in the air. Thick, pulsing. Drums beat in the fog. Whispers circle like smoke. Something ancient comes ashore.
So
Stay
that
close. Keep your token near. And know that libations are hidden just around the corner to provide liquid courage when fear sets in.
Thank you, Lady Mable. So we're excited to see her continuing to grow throughout Dark Harbor. So let's talk about something else that'll be new at Dark Harbor this year. I want to hear from Doug. What has the LA production team and our production team in New Orleans, what have you guys been working on?
A lot. Probably too much for me to explain now. So let's talk about this one specific thing that you're going to ask for. So obviously we try to introduce something new to everybody every year, and little tidbits for you to enjoy yourself. And this year we will be introducing an escape room designed specifically around Queen Mary, with the storyline only going to Queen Mary. And during the show, there will be a shorter version, which will be a 10-minute game, and eventually opened up to a 1-hour game. And this will be the first one that is going into the Queen Mary. And if you were there last year, which I'm assuming most of you were, it will be right across from the summoning. What is the bar?
Spirits of Dark Harbor.
Spirits of Dark Harbor. It is usually because I'm there at the bar visiting and don't remember what it's called. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on with the escape game.
And if you weren't there last year, that means this escape room is on the ship.
Mm-hmm. That's right, it is on the ship.
Which is really cool. So inspired by the ship's history and some of the paranormal stories surrounding.
I didn't want to give too much of it away.
That's all I'm gonna say.
But yes, it is a paranormal story. It is based around the ship. That is all I can give you I swear.
Thanks, Doug. Moving on, this year, Dark Harbor had its first ever off-season event, Butcher's Blackout. Who got to go to that? Wow, a lot of you. You guys were lucky because it sold out pretty much immediately, and we ended up adding another night, which also sold out pretty much immediately. So I'm very happy you guys got to make it. Did you guys catch those Easter eggs in that feast maze?
It seemed like some people may have picked up that, well, I won't say it yet, but this may be the final feast that you will have. We read some surveys last year. The surveys, we read surveys, we read social media comments, we read the things that you tell us as you're leaving and high-fiving, say it was awesome. Or if you say there's something we can do better. We're always making improvements to the show. We know you love the maze's storylines. We know you love the icons. But we heard that you wanted to be scarier. You want more startles. You want to scream more. So, of course, we rely a lot on our actors who kill. Are there any Dark Harbor actors in the room? Of course, they're going to get lots of startles, but we're working with our team in-house to build more effects that will also scare you, so the actors can take a breath here or there. So this is something we built, and we installed a few of those things into Feast. Now, of course, you didn't see them all because it was very dark during Butcher's Blackout, as it is a lights-out show. But here you can see our technical scenic teams, build crew, and Star, are installing something new into the dining hall scene of Feast. Who remembers the dining hall scene? Years ago, this is where the passengers got sick and there was like puke all over the table. Remember that puke? I knew it. I knew someone would. We've redone this scene for this year. Doug, tell us a little bit about what we built here.
A table with stuff that's happening. So, this is, the reason that we're bringing this up is that this is kind of one of the fun things I could do with my job. And that basically starts with Amy coming out and getting a phone call, and it's like, Doug, here we go. And you're like, I know it's going to be something, all right? And then Brett gets involved, and then it's something more. And then but basically this here is we're trying to, we as a company obviously support other haunted attraction companies, buy things from them, but we really want to do things in-house. And this is a perfect example of what we're trying to do in-house. Because this particular animatronic and this particular scare is something that is kind of impressive, where every department has a hand on it inside the shop. So it goes from the creative members here into my ears, it goes onto a piece of paper, it goes into the carpentry section, it goes into the mold making department, it comes out of that into paint, it goes into tech, comes out of tech, and then it gets wrapped up and then shipped to the ship. And then after that, it gets programmed when Amy is like, we needed to do this, and so fast, and whatnot, and bam. So always what we intend is not intense enough. This is actually, this is a custom Dark Harbor prop. It's very Beetlejuice inspired, and it is actually something that we can scare an entire room with, and not just one person, where you're normally having just one thing that pops out at you. So.
Yeah, it's good. Before we opened Butcher's Blackout, we were doing our safety walk with the fire department and the city and the ship, and as we're walking through the scene, you know, most of the props are off, but because we had just installed this, I guess there was a little air still in the reservoir. And I walked past the trigger and the hand shot up, and Eddie from the city, shout out to Eddie, who's been involved with Dark Harbor for a very, very long time. The hands popped up, he's like, whoa, that's new. And it was just really fun because he's an intimate part of the project, but didn't know that was going to startle him. So I think it's going to get some good reactions this fall on Feast.
Thanks, Amy. So talking more about Feast, this is the Feast logo from 2019. You know that last year we continued a lot of the stories with the mazes. So we told you what was happening next in that storyline. With Feast, we decided to take a step back last year and do a prequel and tell you how the chef got to be in the position of head chef. So you can see last year's logo on the screen. This is the butcher icon character that we introduced last year. We're going to continue to tell the next chapter of the feast story this year. So you're going to see the evolution of the butcher as he grows older and grows bigger and ultimately assumes that position of head chef. And this is going to be the feast logo for this year. Feast, the final cut. So as Amy alluded to, we're Star. There were a few Easter eggs in Butcher's Blackout. If you were there, you probably know that this is the final season of Feast.
That's right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we have in store for the fans and Feast this year, Star?
Thanks, Brett. So, like Brett said, 2025, the Feast story picks off right where the 2024 story left off. The Butcher has just been promoted and cannibal chaos immediately ensues. This maze might be the last year we see the Feast maze, but we did not lack when it comes to intensifying this maze. There's more gore, there's cannibal chaos, there's a freezer you walk into, there's new light fixtures and projection, so we're really excited about this one.
Might even be a speakeasy.
Could be.
We weren't supposed to say that. So, Feast, the final cut. Come see it this fall. All
Next,
right.
let's talk about Lullaby.
Lullaby is a fan favorite. And of course, give it up for Scary Mary! So Lullaby, the storyline of Lullaby. You enter the ship, you walk over the gangway into the ship, and a lifeguard abruptly approaches you and tells you, "We're looking for her, we can't find her anywhere. Little girl, she was in the pool. I don't know what to do." So you're set in a story where we know there's a lifeguard frantically searching for Mary. You walk into behind the scenes through cruise spaces of the ship where chairs, machines are all piled up. People are searching for Mary. You encounter her father. He's panicking. "Oh, my little girl! Help me! Freaking out, panicking. You keep walking through the corridors of the ship. You look down and see the depths of the boiler room. Pipes surround you as you start to see wet tile walls. Then you walk past the dressing rooms adjacent to the first-class swimming pool that are notoriously haunted. Beyond this point that serves as a paranormal vortex, you encounter, again, the lifeguard, but now he's twisted, demonic, bleeding from the eyes. Her dad is no longer just searching for Mary. He pops from behind a curtain. "Here's Daddy!" And then you go, all of a sudden find yourself standing 6 fathoms above nothing on a bridge that, yes, bam, that bridge drops out from under you. And then Marys are coming from everywhere, skipping on the sides of the wall, crawlings on the ceiling. There's so many Marys in this maze. Hopefully you finally make it to the bottom of the pool, where tragedy has occurred. But lucky for us horror fans, this demonic possession will keep Mary alive with us forever. We're very excited to bring back a classic. Now, building in historic spaces can be a challenge. Doug?
So yeah, I cannot, over 25 years of doing this, I cannot seem to get out of an historic site where I can attach anything to anything. So I go into one after the other. And so it's funny because when I got brought out here last year and I got brought on the 13th floor, Queen Mary is one of the first things I wanted to go see. And I went to do a walkthrough with Brett. And I get over there, and immediately, he goes, we want to see, obviously, the coolest things in the ship and behind the scenes. And he goes, "Well, let me go ahead and show you the pool." And I was like, "Dude, there's a pool in here? That's awesome." And you're like, not realizing that it's a cruise ship, and cruise ships have pools in them. But So basically, we want to kind of recreate a lot of that stuff to show everybody during the show bits and pieces, and we use that from the ship. Building in the historic place is very challenging because we just have to recreate pieces. We're not allowed to attach anything. We have to wedge things in. We always are building by code, and normally the spaces are probably a lot smaller than you would with an open warehouse. So that's something that we really kind of have to work around. So what we're seeing up on the screen right now is something they desperately wanted to show here, that this was a little excerpt of our recreation of what the pool actually looks like, the railings that are around the pool, that we show that during the haunt, because basically we're recreating that stuff, and you guys can't go to the pool during the show. So we're trying to bring those elements out. We're trying to bring the colors out. We don't pick the colors. We go straight from the historic versions of it, or as at least close as possible. And then, that's basically what we kind of do. Is there anything else you want to know about that guy?
Doug and his team, as you can see, build things that you can't tell what we've built and what was on board the ship. So the Queen Mary's...
I thought we pulled that out of the pool.
The historic pool is not accessible because it's not safe. So last year we got special permission to look into it. That's this railing that you see. And then Doug and his team built the finale of the maze, which looks like you're inside of a pool. And I can't tell you how many people we talked to that really thought that they were inside of the pool on the Queen Mary. So Doug and his team do a phenomenal job in the shops and the scenery of the sets.
Moving on to Big Top. Who liked Big Top Terror? Big Top is happily making its return this year, and it's not your normal circus. The Ringmaster has struck a deal for eternal life, and what came out of it was his cursed carnival, and it feeds on your souls. Ooh.
Big Top kind of happens in 3 acts. So the first act takes place inside of an old-timey circus-looking tent where you're meeting different characters. You're meeting the knife thrower, you're meeting the trapeze artist who bungees down and scares you, and you're meeting a special carver, a pumpkin carver the Ringmaster has brought to make sure that their circus is Halloween-y. I think that's what they said. Oh, I promise it'll be Halloween. And so they brought this carver. As you escape from the first tent, you're in an outdoor area where you see all these pumpkins that have been carved, and you enter a museum of curiosities. You enter the
extremely unforgiving pumpkin mirror maze.
Yes. And then you end up in what you have to, once you go through that area, you're back inside of a tent. But now, this tent is, it's a black light, graffiti painted tent. And everything inside of this was painted by hand last year from one of the artists we work with, Dallas Ryder, shout out to him, inspired by the story. We also worked with Lovecraft. Is Lovecraft in the room? Oh yeah. So you probably know Lovecraft, spooky music creators. We've worked with them for years now at the Queen Mary and on other projects. So last year we worked with Peggy, shout out to Peggy, for some voice work. And we handed that over to Lovecraft and incorporated some of the Ringmaster's famous sayings into the soundtrack. So we're gonna just play a little clip of the pretty normal circus. But it's been really awesome to work with that team on making these soundscapes for these spaces.
You know, we're not only upgrading the main stage, Bazaar Bar got a massive upgrade this year. The Ringmaster has a traveling circus stage. Doug, tell us how you built it.
I didn't. But thank you, Star.
He's very honest. we all try to be.
I don't know if everybody is aware of this, but 13th floor actually has 2 full production shops, one here in LA County. We also have one in New Orleans, run by close personal friend Dave Carey, who is our graphite extraordinaire when it comes to this stuff. However, so this set is probably one of 13th floor's most appreciated, most sought after sets. It won first place at Transworld in this year. I think unanimously everybody is just taken back by the paint jobs on this stage, which is incredible. And as a scenic artist myself, I'm a little jealous about it. But we went with a traditional vintage circus theme for Transworld. And it just wasn't Dark Harbor enough. So we repainted everything, and Dave's team did an incredible job about actually going ahead and making this 100% Dark Harbor themed, 100% Big Top, and this year we'll actually have live performances on it.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, so this year, this stage will serve as the set for Bazaar Bar, and there will be some different types of performances that happen on there that the Ringmaster will be hosting. I would call it a little, like a sideshow.
Exactly, a sideshow, Ringmaster sideshow.
So now you can see we're going to talk a little bit about Infirmary. And there's a new character on the screen and then a returning icon. So last year we introduced Dr. Edwin Masters, a brand new icon for Infirmary, and we paired him up with a love interest, Graceful Gale. As we were developing this storyline, Amy and I and the team kept going back and forth, whether we wanted to, before you got to Dark Harbor, tell you who the surgeon's love interest was, or did we want to reveal that while you were inside the maze? And ultimately, we decided that we wanted to reveal it inside the maze, which is why Graceful Gale doesn't appear in the logo, and last year she didn't appear in the promo video. But we actually did 2 cuts of that promo video because we weren't sure what we were going to decide. So today we want to show you for the first time ever the cut of that video that we didn't show you that does show the love story between these 2 icons.
Give it up for Dr. Edward Masters and Graceful Gale!
Dr. Edwin, I have a couple questions for you. I hear you've made some new discoveries in your medical research. Care to share what you've been experimenting with lately?
Thank you for asking. Graceful Gale and I have been expanding on my research in the infirmary aboard the Queen Mary. The results have been breathtaking. Are we friends?
Sure.
Are we friends?
Yes, doctor, we're all friends.
I feel comfortable enough to show you my true self. Body modification has been a point of pride in my research. Take me, for example. I've replaced my lower jaw. The result? A bite more powerful than any modern man. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. Soon the entire world will know the name Dr. Edwin Master. Pardon me, dear. I appear to be getting carried away again. Inquisitive minds may find us in the infirmary. Please, bring your insurance information.
Thank you so much, Dr. Edwin. I'm out of here.
My understanding is that Gail, while she doesn't speak to us, Her spirit sometimes sings in the jazz club on an upper deck above the infirmary. And so it seems like she and Edwin have teamed up together to lure in some innocent victims. But I'm glad that she's also keeping him in line.
One touch and he just totally snapped back. It's awesome.
That was awesome.
Noted.
So, this year, we're bringing back Breakout. So, if you didn't come to Dark Harbor last year, I want to tell you a little bit about this. You may have remembered from long ago the maze B340, a famous Dark Harbor maze where the story of Samuel the Savage was told. A heinous murderer who could have committed murder aboard the ship and was locked up in his stateroom, tearing himself to pieces, tearing the room to pieces. It's a mystery what happened in there. Last year, Sam the Savage was arrested by the Captain's Royal Guard and dragged out to the seaside prison. This year, Breakout will take place inside of the prison industrial complex. The entire maze is getting an expansion of the prison, and everything will happen within that space. Last year, you walked around the village that's no longer there. This year, we're making it scarier by staying inside a jail the whole time. You will still step in the footsteps of Samuel the Savage. And one of the ways that we keep the story going with Sam is that, Sam's a nutcase. He has the voices going on inside his head all the time, telling him what to do. So you will have the same experience. And again, our music team at Lovecraft, we worked with them and an awesome voice actor named Brock. And this is just some of the clips you'll hear with more soundscape beneath it, but I want to play you a little bit of the voice of Samuel the Savage. When you first enter the prison, of course, he does not want to be there. So let's hear what will be going on inside of your head.
Get out of here. Gotta get back on the streets. Shackles. Can't believe they got me locked up in here. Trapped in here.
So he's trapped. He wants to get out, as you will also be trying to do that, as both inmates and guards are trying to murder you, as they always do in haunted houses. And then you will escape through a sewer to another part of the complex that will be a religious space. So Sam the Savage has some trauma. He, was taught by nuns when he was young, and they were not kind to him. So he's a lot of resentment, and when he is brought back to that space, when he's inside of the prison chapel, let's hear what he'll sound like in that space.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Sinned again and again and again, and I will as long as I live. Life after life. There is no life after Sam. No.
Ooh.
He's real relatable.
What'd you say?
He's real relatable.
Yes.
I feel some sort of connection.
And then moving to the last part of the story, so you escape through the prison chapel and a few other different scenes throughout the prison, and then we bring back the classic finale of this maze, similar to what happened in the old Dead Rise maze, where you escape through a fog-filled container where you pretty much can't see your hand in front of your face because there's so much fog. But if you're going to be let out on the streets, you need just one more taste of that voice in your head.
You know what to do now. Run, kill, more. I'm still hungry. Slay it again, Sam. Nobody gets him like I do.
Paint the walls, Sammy.
Beautiful audience! The Admiral put me on a mission, and I am pleased to inform you that my royal guard has captured Samuel the Savage once again! Yes, but to keep him contained, we needed to keep him in confinement, isolation, maximum security!
All right. So Breakout's coming back in a new iteration called Maximum Security.
So there you have it. Those are the 5 mazes for Dark Harbor 2025.
Whoa. Hold on.
Yes?
5 mazes?
5 great mazes, Captain.
There's 5. Do you want one more? Wait, he said 5, but I'm hearing you want 6. Do you want one more, huh? Oh, we have to give the people what they want.
Guess so.
Let me hear you. One more maze. One more maze. One more maze. One more maze.
Last year, you stepped foot into the Voodoo Bayou at Dark Harbor. This was a unique space. Haunters from all over the world told us there's nothing like this. This space just had this haunting energy. Voodoo has been part of Dark Harbor for a long time. The stories come in many iterations, but the origins of the Voodoo priestess is a muddy story. Muddy is the dark waters that surround Queen Mary in the fall. She once saw the ship pass her from an exotic land, and once she set eyes on it, she saw it, she didn't understand. It's so big. What is that sound? The steam engines roaring. She knew it, she felt the power. She must have her. She became obsessed, having all of her followers scattered to the ends of the earth to find the ship amongst its journeys. As it passed, she collected small artifacts from here and there. And one day, a drunken crew of pirates stumbled upon her shores, and she knew her opportunity arose. So she approached the pirates and broke their wills. She possessed them and made them become the start of her navy. She then went on ship and sailed back to Long Beach, California, where she disembarked That's right. She's back, okay? Back to Long Beach, California. Where she came aboard the port of the... Guys, come on, I'm trying to do this thing. She came to the shore after her obsession. She started having her pirates and other followers build her a village. She, one night, as she was chanting, took her hands in the colors of red and white and the black of the ship and started painting the walls. In a trance, the Loa, she had channeled the Loa, and as it came through her, she made a spell far more powerful than ever to necromance the dead sailors from their watery graves. And as they rise up, she possesses them. There's voodoo dolls of tiny sailors everywhere. And once her navy is complete, she will once again be aboard the ship and command the Queen Mary to move once more. This year, we bring you Voodoo, the Queen's Curse at Dark Harbor. So come see the voodoo that we do this fall.
So you can see we have a lot of new things for you to experience at Dark Harbor this year. 6 mazes, a brand new maze. We've got the theme nights, we've got the escape room, plus a few other surprises we haven't announced. Our food and beverage program has definitely kicked it up. You're gonna see some more brand new food stands, new rides. There's tons of things to do at this event. We want you to come out and see us this fall, not once, not twice, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times. And to make that easier for you, for the first time ever, we are introducing a Dark Harbor Season Pass. So we're really excited to have you join us. Many nights, you know, the show is different every single night. And one other surprise, there are 13 lucky people inside this room right now that are going to be our first ever season pass holders for Dark Harbor. So take a look under your chairs and see if you have a season pass voucher.
Look under your chairs, that's right. This is an Oprah moment. You get a voucher. You get a pass. You get a pass. You get a pass. You get a pass. All right, one more very important announcement. The only place in the entire universe you can buy Dark Harbor tickets immediately is by scanning this QR code right now. This is a Midsummer Scream exclusive special. This ticket window will not be open for long. So, scan this QR code. This is not available to the general public. So, this is where you can buy Dark Harbor tickets immediately right now. All right, everybody, we want to thank you for coming out to learn about Dark Harbor this year, and this is your Queen Mary's